I know you're just dying. Okay, coral. We had 49 species identified. 25 are new to the park list, so basically you guys increased the park list we basically doubled it. And of course we saw both of our federally threatened species, elkhorn coral and staghorn coral, and this is an example of one of the species that was added to the park list, which is rose coral. Seagrass, algae, and plankton, we had some very dedicated teams working on these, and they added 125 new species to the park list. These are the first species of algae that we know of that have happened in Biscayne National Park. So this is totally awesome. Other marine invertebrates, of which there were a ton, they documented 253 species, 236 of which were new to the park list. And these are just some wonderful examples. This is a stinker sponge, never heard of that, that was totally cool. Mollusk, this is a flamingo tongue. Just great. So it's basically everything, you know, from lobsters to crabs to anemones to worms are in this group. Lichen surveys by Rick and Jean Seavey. They came up with 62 species. Surveys occurred at both Convoy Point and at Elliott Key. And 2 of them were unpublished at the time of BioBlitz. And so these are 2 new species to science. Technically, the specimens they published on were in Everglades and in Fakahatchee Strand. So the park, I'm sorry, does not get credit for them, but they were unpublished at the time of BioBlitz. They also found 7 new species to North America. Tardigrade surveys. I had not heard of tardigrades before. So this is a new phylum to the park list. Dr. Randy Miller at Baker University found 5 different species of tardigrades. And this one, Ascakiniscus biscayne, I'm very bad at pronouncing these, is a new species to science. And he named it after the park. So these are basically about 1 to 1.5 millimeter long little tiny segmented animals. They're called water bears or moss piglets. And in this case, he found it in barnacles collected from a log, submerged log near the park headquarters. So, champion trees survey was led by Tony Pernis. Champion trees are basically the largest trees known in America, and basically they go out and measure like the crown and height and circumference. And this team went to Totten Key, and they submitted 8 different candidate trees, 4 of which were declared by the national champion as national champion trees by the National Register of Big Trees last May. And so these examples are pigeon plum, inkwood, and there's 2 co-champion trees of blolly. So our final tallies, drum roll please. We have 1,027 species were found during BioBlitz. About half of those, 532, were new to the park list. So congratulations, guys. Of the previous invertebrate and vascular plant inventories, we found only 25 new species. So we think we've actually met our target there of documenting 90% of the species, those taxa in the park. For the other taxa, that's where 95% of our new species came. These are previously, where we didn't have an official inventory. So did we get them all? From our well inventory data, we probably got 25 to 50% of our species that were on our list during BioBlitz. So if we apply that number to our other taxa, we probably got a really good start on these other taxa, but there's a lot of room for future inventory work to conduct. There's a lot of species, at least half to 3/4 of the species probably have not been documented yet in the park. So in conclusion, we have 3 new species to CITES, it's tardigrade and 2 lichen species. We increased the park species list by 39%. And it's the first algae, lichen, and tardigrade inventories in the park, and possibly for others as well. We probably made a good start, but we can do additional inventory work on those taxa. But our previous vertebrate and vascular plant inventories are probably pretty solid, which is nice to know. We had 1,300 students who got hands-on science experience, and 170 scientists shared their expertise with the park. And we provided a data management framework for the following BioBlitzes. So they have a good act to follow. I want to thank everybody who was involved. I want to point out that in addition to our 170 scientists, we had 147 National Park Service staff who were involved in this effort. It was huge. So thank you to everyone. But this is the hawk that was released at the beginning of BioBlitz. So any questions? This is just a little slideshow of some of the pictures. Yes, sir. We did, but I don't have that slide available, and I have a report that basically I've got to do some updates to, and then it'll be coming out, and that is in there, but I don't have that number in my head, sorry. Yes?
Is BioBlitz unique to Biscayne National Park, or is this?
No, this is happening 10 different parks, I believe, leading up to 2016. This year's is occurring in New Orleans, if I remember.
Jean Lafitte.
Jean Lafitte? Okay. So I forget which number this one wasn't, but basically there's going to be several more. Different park every year. National Geographic plus the National Park Service. Opportunity to travel. Well, I guess all our travel budgets just got killed. But any other questions?